Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, right at 7, well, a little bit past, right at 7 p.m. on the East Coast. So I'm so glad that I made it on time. Again, I was thinking, will I make it on time? And I think, yes, I think I will. And I did, so cannot complain. I wasn't sure what I want to talk about today, but I did figure it out earlier than usual. Usually I figure out what I'm going to talk about like 10 minutes before the show. This time I thought earlier because the shutdown is over. And I was thinking to myself, who's winning this thing? Or who won this thing? Or who's going to win this thing? And some people are really upset. Some people are kind of iffy. But what I've noticed is there's basically something special that's happening. And that is there's kind of two civil wars happening. I guess, I don't know, push to end it has kind of shown, I'm going to say, it has shown cracks, that's what I'll say, in the in the connection for both sides. And I feel like the Democrats are kind of seeing a civil war, as well as the Republicans also seeing. I think both are true. And it was a piece I wanted to bring up. If I can find that one spot I had. There we go. Yeah, there's another one I wanted to bring up here, which was also kind of interesting. So many pieces. I talked about, oh, I got to find it now. Hold on. I had one I wanted to find that was kind of thinking that was special. It was actually from, if I can find it here now, I should have brought it up earlier, but I wasn't thinking of all the things I did. That's the one I wasn't thinking of. And can I find it real fast? And I did. Perfect. Okay, that was the one I wanted. It was from News Nation. News Nation, as I've told you, if you look in the past, as I've been talking about, News Nation has been trying to become like a CNN of old. It's been trying. And it hasn't been bad. It's been okay. It hasn't been bad. But they make actually some pushback here, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to grab a couple of these so you see what I'm talking about here. All right, this is Chris Cuomo's show. And he's talking about the shutdown and how he sees it versus others, and how so many Democrats are angry about this, very angry about this. All right.
You believe they caved. That means you think something better could have happened than this.
Now, that is what most, I would say probably most Democrats feel. Most Democrats feel that the Democratic side caved and the Republicans won this, even though in theory, the Republicans were on their back foot, right? After the elections, after Trump being, what are we going to do? The Republicans were on their back foot, and then they caved. And this guy, obviously, Tyler, I forgot his name. He's a paid Democratic activist or whatever he is. I don't know what he is, but he's one of those guys. He's saying, yes, we were going to win. It was going to be great. Oh my God, it's going to be awesome. But Cuomo pushes back.
What?
When you say something better than this, what is this? I mean, we basically now we have to look forward to a doomed vote in the Senate where it requires 60 votes to be able to do anything with the ACA. That's not going to happen. If by some miracle it does pass in the Senate, then it's got to go over to the House. That's not going to happen. And if by some miracle on top of a miracle it passes the House, then we have to rely on Donald Trump, who hates Obamacare and its namesake, to sign this thing into law. So what this means is that they have figured out a way to effectively kill the ACA, hobble the ACA in whatever way they could think to do.
Brian,
and this is the part that I want to bring up here. While I get what they're saying, and if you're a Democrat, I understand your logic. If you're a Democrat, you're like, wait a minute, the ACA is what our guy gave us. It's the best that we have. So why would you stop it? Instead of thinking, this is a wake-up call for how broken the ACA is. That neither side is actually saying that. Neither side is actually saying that. Phil, thank you for $2, my friend. Hold up, Chris Cuomo mustache. Explain. Facial hair is a thing now. Maybe that's it. So, yeah, that's what it is. It could be that. There you go. Phil says mustache November. I'm sure. There we go. That's what it's about. 100%.
I get the problem, and I have no problem with you guys going after Schumer. You do you. Figure out what leaders work for.
And without question, Schumer is getting hammered, and I mean hammered badly. There are many people in the Democratic Party are saying he's not even going to run. Like, he's just done. He's just retiring. I don't know if that's true, but that's the kind of talk they're having now.
But the miracle is what you're asking for. No shutdown has ever ended with a policy change that the minority who started the shutdown wanted. We both know this, and I believe your expectation is fine. You should want what you want, but you're too smart. You know it was never going to happen this way.
Now, that's the issue where I think Cuomo is both right and wrong. He's right to say it hasn't happened, but this time it was working. And here's a difference. And this is why Democrats are extra spicy. If you're a Democrat, you know what I'm talking about right now. You know. It was forced to vote. For those who remember, back in the day, now it's what, 2 years ago now? 3, what was it? Whatever the years ago it was. 4 years ago? Whatever it was, where Democrats, the further left Democrats wanted to force a vote on Medicare for all, when the Democrats knew they couldn't get it. But they said, you got to hold them off. You got to hold off no matter what. You fight and you make them do it. And the Democrats then also caved to their own party. The more left-wing Democrats caved to the more moderate Democrats. And what did they get for it? Nothing. Not a thing. Well, the Republicans did basically the same thing. Remember Speaker Johnson? Not Johnson. The other speaker. I forgot that guy. Anyway, they were fighting, and the Republicans fought, and they got concessions. And they fought, and they got concessions. Democrats went, wait a minute. We should have done that. We should have fought. So here comes government shutdown. And Democrats, particularly the more left-wing Democrats, like, the Republicans taught us. Let's hold on. And the Republicans said, we're going to hold on. We've done this already. And Democrats said, we're going to hold on too. And then they caved. And that's why they're extra unhappy. Thank you, McCarthy, Josh. Yes, McCarthy. When McCarthy was fighting, the Republicans pushed McCarthy. It worked. That minority pushed McCarthy, and it worked. It did. Democrats could have got something when it came to Medicare for all for their forced to vote. They wouldn't have got Medicare for all. That was not going to happen, but they could have gotten something. There's no doubt they could have, and they caved. Republicans fought, got something. I forgot little concessions they had. It was certain votes, certain things they got, but they got concessions, right? They did. Trump got his concessions too. Trump wasn't even president then, and he got concessions. Democrats could have got concessions. They could have. That could have happened, but they didn't. They didn't. And how do I know that? Because of this last election. And I did a show when I showed you Trump was getting concerned. He was considering losing the filibuster. He was considering it. He was concerned. But here's the problem that people aren't talking about. Well, some people are, not the right people are talking about it. The reality of it is the establishment Democrats want the same thing the establishment Republicans want. Keeping heavy hitter donors happy and changing it as little as possible. They don't want that filibuster to go away. They don't want it to go away. The filibuster goes away, they have to actually do things. They don't want to do anything. They want to blame the president. Way easier.
And I think you're making this case to take down Schumer and the leadership, which I'm fine with. I'm just not fine with you pretending a deal was possible to end the shutdown.
Cuomo, I get what Cuomo's saying. His data is correct, but his outcome is incorrect.
Now,
to claim that the shutdown would not have resulted in any.
And Tyler is in trouble because he wasn't ready for this. He should have been. I think he thought, I'm going to go on News Nation with Chris Cuomo. I'll be fine. No. That's News Nation is trying to be better. And you see him push back a little bit.
Deal, as far as the ACA is concerned, ignores the fact that Trump and Republicans knew that they were getting killed on this thing in the polls. 2-1 by a 2-1 margin.
Wrong.
Independents saw that the shutdown was the fault of this administration. You've shown the graphic numerous times. The Kaiser Family Foundation showed that 8 in 10 Americans wanted these ACA subsidies to be extended.
Yeah, but you know those numbers dropped. Those numbers dropped during the duration of the shutdown. You guys took so long, you caused so much pain that you lost part of your base. And again, I've said it many times, and you know this personally.
He is exaggerating. It's not true. Yeah. Bruce says, should have known the answer was money. Isn't it always? Lunatic in the house, it's all political theater. True. You're not wrong. It is absolutely political theater. Yes. Mike Voss in the house. Dems got nothing out of the shutdown. True. Not even the propaganda. True. Trump approval still at or above 45 term. Social media is stomping Dems. Their social media isn't. Well, hold on. Let me correct that. Their social media is also still stumping Trump. But yes, overall, the Dems are in a civil war over this. Republicans are also in a civil war over this too. I mean, this stopping the shutdown has brought up EpiPen files. I have to say that because I'm on YouTube, right? That's coming up. Trump and his H-1B visas, that's popping up now. So, you know, they're all in civil war now. That's the one thing that I got to say I am not unhappy about. The multiple civil wars, good for me.
You guys are fighting the right fight. Affordability is the right fight, and healthcare cost is the right fight. But again, I don't get where you're coming from. I get you saying, hey, we need a deal. We need leverage. I get the desperation.
See, he should have realized something. And when was it Brian Tyler? Is that who he is? Whatever this guy's name is. When this guy came out, he should realize, oh, this is Cuomo's brother, and Cuomo just got his ass kicked by a DSA member and embarrassed in New York. Yeah, this is going to be more hostile than I thought. He didn't think that. Shame on him.
You can't point to any shutdown ever ending, even when the polls were against the majority party on the issue, that resulted in a policy change when Democrats were in the majority or Republicans, because you don't do that because you'll never have anything but shutdowns.
Everything that we're seeing right now is unprecedented. The notion that nothing could happen now because it hasn't happened in the past is disproven on a daily basis.
But
and
not with these.
Okay, to be forward, Cuomo, Chris Cuomo saying that, but he's wrong. It does get changed. New things do happen. And again, I think the last couple years proved Cuomo's wrong on this one.
And none
it
of
could
the
have.
people who are on your side of this, and again, I can't keep saying it enough because of the way you guys chop up everything on social media. But I'm
you
with
guys
you on the fight.
Yeah. Pete says, when is everyone going to realize there's no more money? Well, no, they just print it. Stop, Pete. They just print it. They have a money print. It's just print it. It's fine. What's your problem? We need more money. I'll print some in the back. It's fine. Yeah. Oh, good. We're done. Yes. It's all good.
But to hear Senator Murphy and these other guys, Ro Khanna, they weren't working for deals for this. They've just been flogging that this is terrible, which I get. But they weren't even trying to make a deal.
And here Chris Cuomo's incorrect. They were trying to. The Democrats were trying to get the Republicans to cave on ADA subsidies. They were. He's not wrong. He's wrong. They were trying to make a deal. They were doing a terrible job of it, obviously, but they were trying. I'm not saying how skillful they were at it, but they absolutely were trying. That's not true. If he said, look, they were failing at deal making, true, that would be an accurate statement. But they were trying.
Senator Murphy, the only guys who were trying were Fetterman and Kaine.
That's
so
not
the
true.
only people who were trying to make a deal.
No, Fetterman and Kaine just wanted to
deal. The guys you're demonizing for not getting a deal when you were never going to get a deal.
Chris, the deal was simple. The deal was come to the table and extend the ACA subsidies that were already in existence. The same ACA subsidies that at that time, you know, three-quarters of the American people were in support of.
It's like when Trump's guys asked for money for the wall that the American people said they wanted with the results in the election, and the Democrats said, no way.
Damn, Chris Cuomo becoming a Trumpster on that. Boy, that New York City ass whipping, Mamdani turned him Republican. Okay.
You're not getting it. You don't have the majority.
Chris, this comes in the aftermath. This comes in the aftermath of an election where Republicans got absolutely routed on the backdrop of this very shutdown.
Also true.
If you're a Republican Party,
I'm with you, but you only won the races you were supposed to win.
Utterly not true. Cuomo is just trying to push back. He is mad. Wow. He is mad his brother got his ass whipped by the left. He's mad. He is mad. He's like, you guys you killed my brother. I'm gonna get you all. He's mad.
Georgia, Mississippi, Maine, California by a
look, I'm not a Cohen fan. I'm not. He's a paid Democratic, whatever, producer, whatever he is, content creator. But he's still right on this one. I mean, I got it. He's on this one. He's correct.
2/3 margin. Pennsylvania's Supreme Court retention race.
They're all blue seats. I mean, they only won a couple of non-blue seats. I get the results, but I don't think they mean as much.
Georgia's public safety commission. These are seats that Democrats hadn't won in decades, and they won them by 25.
Yeah, he's
point margins.
Almost wrong.
Because affordability is real, populist outrage is real, and I am with you on it. And I'm telling you, I think it's the good fight. If you fight it a good way. But let's not talk about some like, local
good
bounty
way.
commissioner like that is in any way portentous. You start winning red governorships, you start winning red congressional seats, and now that's the kind of momentum we're talking about.
Abigail Spanberger,
So Cuomo said you start winning governorships, then he gives him, he goes, "Oh, very good." Okay, I'm gonna stop talking to Cuomo. Cuomo's just doing shit. He's making himself look bad because he's mad. But my point being, this is kind of like, should be like Democrat on Democrat violence, but it isn't. There's more that we want to pop up. There's a couple other interesting ones also. This one I thought was interesting. This was, and I'll pop some more stuff, some more comments in also. But this one was on. This one is called The Rundown. Yes, this is a obviously very mainstream left-leaning one. This is mainstream left-leaning. But by the way, I know this when I've been on TV with her, but she's actually wonderful.
It's a download for another day. Democrats caved on the shutdown. You were out there with the most controversial take, which is we're not losers, we are winners.
Yeah, this guy says Democrats won. That's why I want to say this one. She's like, what? She cannot believe it. She cannot believe it, but
yeah,
he
the
says
floor
so.
is yours.
Yeah. I saw your colleague, I saw Prof. G's take on this. I understand why people are mad. I just want to start there. I understand why people are mad and frustrated and want the Democrats to fight more and channel their anger.
Makes
I understand
sense.
why people are mad if their healthcare premiums are about to go up. And in some cases, in ways that are really economically challenging.
Look, I got to tell you, if you're a Democrat, you should have been very happy last week. You had some good victories. Things were looking pretty good. This is not right. If you're a Democrat, you should have been pretty happy. As far as weeks go, it's one of the best weeks, right? It's one of the best weeks. You should have felt like, maybe this is a good thing. But he's like, well, no, I think he's wrong.
That said, that was never going to get solved, and I do think that maybe there's some issues with expectation setting for people. And I don't know. The reason why people's healthcare premiums are going up is because Republicans won Congress and the presidency in 2024, and Republicans are going to cut healthcare if they won.
Okay, that's actually an easy way. I see how we do that. He just goes, we just blame Republicans no matter what, so it's fine. I get it.
And Donald Trump got a majority of the popular vote. And so we are where we are now. And I think what the Democrats' job was during the shutdown was to raise the salience of this issue so people understand what is happening, understand that they're fighting for them, they're fighting for lower healthcare premiums, and that...
I don't buy this at all, right? Jessica Tarloff, and she's wonderful, by the way. She's actually very savvy, very smart. I've been in a couple Fox business shows with her in the past. And I might have been on News Nation with her once too. She's very savvy, very smart. I think he's wrong. I think he's coping. He's trying to pull a victory out of this. I think the Democrats just took a loss.
The Republicans don't care about that. They don't care if their own voters have to pay for more in healthcare or lose their healthcare if they're on Medicaid. They successfully did that. They raised the salience of it. They did a shutdown for 40 days, longer than any Tea Party shutdown. I think part of my perspective on this might be going back.
So because they did a long one, that's somehow a win.
So when I was a moderate Republican and I was like, what are you crazy Tea Party people doing? Like, you guys are anarchists. You're shutting down the government for a month for nothing. They tried to shut down the government back then to get rid of Obamacare. That's what the Tea Party wanted to do. This Democratic Congress that everybody says is too weak and too wimpy and doesn't fight like Republicans had a longer shutdown than anything that the Ted Cruz Tea Party and those guys ever did, those freaks. And so I thought it was a worthwhile fight. People were starting to be really harmed.
See, this is the thing, right? He's saying that people were being really harmed. Yes, I think that's true. But isn't that then time? And obviously, I'm the crazy one. Isn't that time to say, wait a minute, if the second the government gets shut down, the world's ending. We can't feed people. Millions of people can't eat. Doesn't that tell you that our entire system is broken? I mean, if you look at our system 100 years ago, 200 years ago, whatever, if the government shut down, that didn't affect whether people ate or not. Community had to show up.
People were
Right.
losing SNAP benefits. There were people that were working for free in tough jobs, like working class jobs, people that lost their jobs, that got riffed, that are now getting their jobs back. And to me, it was like they gave the Republicans a chance to come to the table. They had 40 days. They never did. And now it's time to beat them at the ballot box next year. And I think the Democrats are in a lot stronger.
So he thinks the Democrats are in a stronger, he believes that Democrats are in a stronger position to beat the Republicans next year after they caved. This
Stronger
guy
position than they were in 40 days ago.
So a couple of things that stick out to me is I'm very upset about losing the oomph that we had going in.
She is right. If you were talking to most Democrats these last couple of days, they were in a very positive mood. There was oomph on the Democratic side. They were like, we're winning this thing. It's working. After the election last Tuesday, I mean, I think Democrats were feeling good. Again, they had a good night. They should feel good. Good for them. They were doing pretty well. Good for them. I think she's right, and I think this has put them into fighting each other. I am seeing civil wars everywhere. Libertarian Party, Maha movement, Republican Party, Democratic Party. Nobody's happy. Nobody's happy.
To the elections, that it finally felt like Democrats were on the same page and fighting for something, and crucially that leadership had heard them about it, because that has been the disconnect, right? You have all these angry people on the ground and then people sitting in Washington who are like, why are you so mad? I'm not going to do anything. And they were doing something. So it feels.
And that's the issue, right? Often you hear Democrats in the past have been saying, do something. You're just getting your ass kicked. What made Trump so popular early, right? Early was Trump was doing a full court press. He was throwing everything. And Republicans were like, this is amazing. All the things, he's doing so much. And Republicans were like in a state of glee. They were loving it. Again, as they should have. He was having tons of successes. He was throwing everything at the wall. The Democrats were on their back foot. They were falling backwards. Perfect. He was great. That's slowed down since then, right? But this was the reverse right now. This was the beginning of that for Democrats. They were feeling the same way. The emotion was the same for them. Yes, we're fighting, and the Republicans are on their back foot. And then Democrats went, well, yeah. Yes. Mike says, I'm happy Republicans didn't cave for him. Yes, if you're a Republican, you should love this. I agree. It makes sense now. Republicans were on their back foot for a second there. And then Democrats were sitting there trying to fight. They went, I'm not going to fight anymore. Republicans said, whew, okay, get our footing again. Republicans are back in the game again. Back in the game. This was a mistake by the Democrats.
Feels like they didn't heed that battle cry.
I hear that. And I will just say, I think that the messaging of the cavers has been awful. And if they just had said what I said, maybe people would feel better. Like if you could put my word.
Well, what's funny is he's actually thinking the right way, which is, how do you feel about it? And the people who caved, they made Democrats feel worse. Like, at least if he's right. If they had said what he said, they would feel bad, but not as bad. Now, I mean, they're trashing each other. Like there's no tomorrow. They just trashing
words into Angus King's mouth or Gene Shaheen's mouth.
Should not be able to open his mouth ever again.
Yeah, then maybe people would feel better about this. Maybe they wouldn't. I don't know, because some people are mad at me too. But I do think that the cavers should have made more of a case for the people that really are genuinely upset. That are like, no, this is part of our battle plan. Actually, like
So failure is part of our battle plan. So this is his logic. So when we're beating the Republicans and we got them on a run, we let them come right back in and kick our ass again. That's the plan. That's a bad plan. Like, that's not a good plan. If that's your plan, I would rethink that plan. That's a terrible one. So, yeah.
Did this shutdown because we wanted to raise the salience of this issue, and now the Republicans have fucked themselves, and now we're going to beat them over the head with it. Like, I think if that was the message, at least some people would feel better.
Yeah, but that will be a lie, and no one would believe it. Well, I mean, lie doesn't matter. They don't care about that. They'll lie. No one will believe it. How about that? Yeah, that's better.
Maybe not. I don't know. But that's what I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think that they would. And I was interviewing John Fetterman earlier this morning, and he said, we can shut the government down at the end of January. It's not that long from now.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say she's correct, and let's say Fetterman's correct, and she's correct. And I mean, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but sake of argument, let's walk down her road. It's end of January, and the Republicans, evil Republicans, don't do what they're supposed to do. So we're going to shut the government down again. How are people going to feel with a second bunch of punishment, knowing the Democrats are probably just going to collapse again? Like, that's going to go over well. We're going to want, again, to have a chance at maybe not being able to do air travel, not getting jobs, food pantries. And the odds are, I mean, maybe not, but the odds are the economy is going to be even worse. Depends on how bad this Christmas season is. We'll see how bad the Christmas season is. If it's bad, it's going to be even worse. So, and of course, layoffs are coming. Layoffs always come into the year, right? Always come into the year. More layoffs coming. And you're going to make this happen? This does not sound like a good plan at all to me. Democrats, I try to give you good advice when I can. I give Republicans good advice too. This is a bad plan. This is not going to go well. Democrats, if you want to do something, I'm going to tell you what you should do. Keep fighting more Mom Donnies. More Mom Donnies. More Mom Donnies who can win young men over to your cause. This weakness is not going to win young men to your cause. It's just not. You're turning them away.
If there is no healthcare extension for the subsidies, if we don't see that happen, because, I mean, he's a troll of the highest order, Mike Johnson, but he sat down with Jake Tapper yesterday and said, I don't know if I'm going to bring a vote in the House. And this idea that Dick Durbin and John.
Yeah, and the Republicans didn't even guarantee. They said, yeah, we might do something. Might not. This was not a good move for Democrats. That's all I'm saying. This was not a good move. Rick says, civil wars also distract from the hoi polloi of the real oppressor, the uniparty and the power behind it. True. Absolutely. Yes. Romero Empire. Thank you. Romero Empire says, where do the people get fed up with the government for its failure at everything it does? Only when there is hope. Remember, people don't take action because things are bad. People take action because things are bad and there's hope. We need hope. Those two things, that's when it works. So anyway, I don't need to show any more of that one. The last one I want to bring up, this one is the 5. This is Republicans obviously going to be gleeful because they dodged a bullet in this one. So I get it. This is them being gleeful.
The Democrat-made shutdown mess is finally almost over. Finally, almost. Who wrote?
The Democrat shutdown mess, of course.
Anyway,
Love
in
that.
just about 2 hours, the House is set for a final vote on reopening the government and ending this 43-day fiasco. Carolyn Levitt's breaking down all the damage done.
Hundreds of thousands of federal employees have missed their paychecks.
Now, here is the issue. If you go back a week ago, everything she's saying, most Americans were blaming on Republicans and or Trump. You go back to a month ago, most of them were not. What actually happened is the opposite of what Chris Cuomo said. If you look about a month ago, Trump was winning this because initially it was the Republicans are standing fast. Go about a month and it had swapped, and we saw it literally during the shutdowns. During the elections, it had swapped to where most independents and Democrats had turned against Trump. Republicans, again, still like Trump, but the independents started walking away from him. That was actually happening. You saw it in the election. You saw it in the poll. Well, now Democrats, they dropped. What did they just do? They just told the American people, well, they were holding it up. They just said it was their fault. This is no different than a plea bargain. When you plea bargain, you're admitting you did something wrong. That's what a plea bargain's about. You're pleading, I did it wrong. I'm guilty. This is a plea bargain.
Tens of billions in wages and benefits were withheld, impacting vulnerable families. Millions of low-income Americans missed their SNAP benefits, according to Airlines for America and
She's just listening and she's going to try to pin on Democrats. Will they be able to? If this was last week, I would have bet no, that the Republicans would have taken the biggest brunt from this. That's what I would have said. I'm not sure that's true anymore. I think this cave does a lot to maybe allow Republicans to pin this on Democrats. That's what I'm thinking.
Estimated 5.2 million travelers have had their flights disrupted over the course of the Democrat shutdown. It's hard to recap all of this without asking a simple question: why? And the answer to that question is pure partisan politics.
After getting zip on Obamacare subsidies, Dems are shifting blame, revealing all the pain was for their gain.
Tim Kaine has said publicly that there were another 5 or 6 that were waiting in the wings and that were encouraging them. And if one of them had not voted, somebody else might have stepped in.
Okay. Think about how bad that actually is. So if other people wouldn't have stepped in, they would have. Why? Either you believe in this or you don't, right? I mean, obviously that's not true, but theoretically, either you say, hey, I am worried about the damage the American people are taking, so I'm going to vote to open up because I care about the American people, option 1. Or, look, this is more important. Let them suffer. This matters. I'm holding my ground. Right? In theory, I mean, obviously that's fantasy, but you should be, right? And if you honestly are like, wait a minute, I don't want the American people to suffer, I don't want them, shouldn't you have immediately said so? Shouldn't you have collapsed like within the first week or so? So look, I'm not prepared to lose snap. I'm not, if that's how you feel, right? As a congressperson, as a senator, if you honestly feel that way, that you care, and you're like, look, I don't want anyone losing these benefits. I don't want any, cave immediately. Now, while I may disagree with that, that at least is honorable because you're being yourself. You're saying, look, I don't care. I don't want people to lose. I'm immediately just going to say, yes, okay. All right, I get it. That you're being compassionate, I guess, whatever. But they're proving that none of them are compassionate. This is just calculated. That's all it is. So we are suffering based upon their calculations only. Now, of course, I know that, but this makes it obvious, and I'm hoping someone is paying attention to go, wow, they don't care at all. This is just, if the other guys wouldn't have done it, then they would vote for it. But now they won't. So they'll vote against it or for it based upon what it looks like. It's embarrassing.
Lose leverage in our fight for Americans now that we have capitulated to Donald Trump.
It undermines the narrative that this was a Trump shutdown.
He's not wrong.
8 Democratic senators could have ended it.
And if you're going to see Grandma this Thanksgiving, it could still get screwed up. Sean Duffy is warning the flightmare will still continue while taking a shot at Mayor Pete.
It's a flightmare.
There were 85 near misses, Sean, in the Potomac before the DCA air crash. Pete did nothing. He spent
And all we do, to me, this is why I can't keep watching these shows, because all it is just Dems bad, Dems bad, Dems bad, Dems bad, Dems bad, Dems bad. I got it. I guess this is red meat if you're a Republican. This is just red meat. You just, give me more, delicious. I get it. But where's the Republican answer? Dems bad, Dems bad. Right? Don't get me wrong. Democrats had nothing either. They just blamed Trump. It's Trump and the Republicans. We're going to kick the Republicans' ass in 2020 or whatever. It's literally a list of propaganda on both sides that's supposed to be some kind of news.
$80 billion on DEI and on climate change. He lowered the standards for training at the FAA. He focused on
He did all these bad things. He thought it was about a shutdown. It's not. Anyway, let me grab a couple comments. I'm going to go back to the top and grab some comments from the top if I could. See what I can get a hold of. It goes by pretty fast, though. So, yes. Shelley says, the citizens of the United States won. As a bonus, the rest of the nation got to see how Chuck Schumer pretends to represent the people. Now they have an idea of what it's like in New York. I hope that's true. My gut says it isn't. My gut says that most people didn't pay attention, and those who did are partisan. And those in the middle will be swayed because they weren't paying much attention. They'll be swayed by their friends, their family, or this guy yelling and screaming or whatever. That is my worry. My biggest issue, and I say it all the time, is I really want people to recognize exactly how bad this is for us. That's what I want. So Shelley goes on to say, we need Governor Sharpe to lead our entire state. True. She got that down. Yes. All righty. Grab a couple of these if I can. Mike Long is in the house. An interesting thing about Trump's tariffs and bombing campaign in the Caribbean and near South America, the world's refusing to share intelligence with us. We have a trade war going on. Oh, is that true? I didn't know that was happening. Interesting. Okay. I didn't realize that was a thing. All righty. Guys, if you like what you're seeing, do me a favor, click the like button. And I have to blow my nose. I don't know what happened all of a sudden. Oh, thank you. Wow. I had to sneeze up all of a sudden on where it came from. Mike, you made me sneeze. That's on you. That's my fault. So, guys, if you like what you're seeing, please click the like button. I appreciate it. Share this and repost this. It's how I grow. As you guys know, I'm only showing Sharpe Way stuff on Sharpe Way properties now, social media properties, which means my audience is going down because I'm not getting a lot of Sharpe stuff anymore. I'm only getting Sharpe Way. So I need extra help in you guys sharing this and reposting this and making sure that you have actually subscribed and making sure you subscribe to the page you're watching or the channel you're watching. I need extra help with this. Guys, please jump on board. If you want to get your question or comment to the front, super chat that thing. Easy or Rumble Rant it if you want to over on Rumble. Either way, it makes things better. So speaking of that, I will head over to Rumble for a second. Joel says, let's see. Something has to change in healthcare. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. And you know what bothers me about the shutdown? Everything that happened, it changed nothing. Not just did Democrats get nothing, which politically they would care about, Republicans would care about, but what we should care about is what did it change? Nothing. If you're a fan of the filibuster, did it codify it? If you don't like it, did you get rid of it? No. So you don't get any of that. So if you don't like the filibuster, you didn't get that. If you're unhappy with Obamacare, did it change that? No. If you're unhappy with the stupid debt ceiling thing we keep doing, did that change? No. Did we all of a sudden say now we can't, keep spending more money? No. No. Did we say we have to make sure that the states are able to function on their own and not be beholden to the federal government? No. Nothing. We did nothing. No change. A bunch of, exactly to Lunatic's point, political theater. See? I'm the bad guy. There's the good guy. He's the bad guy. I'm the good guy. And that's it. And what happened? Nothing. Is anyone better off? No. Now, will many of the people who, didn't get paid? Many of them will. But here's the problem. They passed the law that when the government shuts down and things shut down, government employees still get paid for all the time that they didn't work. What kind of bullshit is that? So if I'm in a private company, and I can't work because my government contracts end when the government shut down, I don't get paid. I'm not working. But if you're a government employee, you get paid. Why? Because government unions. For government unions. Unions should not be negotiating with the government. They should be negotiating with the voters, with the taxpayers. They negotiate with them. That law doesn't exist. Because why do I struggle, but they don't? Why they get paid? Why did the Congress people get paid? They got paid. Why did they get paid? It's crazy. It's a shutdown for you. Just for you. Not for them. For them, it's vacation. Paid vacation for them. So, yeah. So they were working for free. They're getting paid for it now. Oh, comes back. Pete, already there. 38 trillion, 121 billion, 217 million, $149,187.64. And the money keeps coming. Pete's like, when are you going to forget the money goes away? No, it's not. Right here. It's still going. It's still going. It's not done. Patty says, we the people lost, as always. Yeah. Josh says, the Uniparty won, the government shutdown. Doesn't it always? I think both of you are always right. You're always right. Yes. So Lunatic says, there are so many live streams that are on YouTube that are serious propaganda machines. Yes. These streams have over on average 1,000 views. I need that. Lunatic, give me 1,000 viewers. Let's go. I need 1,000 viewers. They have both extreme right and extreme left. See, but I don't want to be extreme right or extreme left because it's not who I am. Unless do I become like the extreme libertarian to become that guy? People start watching. I say crazy things about extreme libertarian stuff. But then that's not real either, is it? I don't know. All right. Mike Voss says the adrenaline is over. Dems won state. They are always to win. That is offset. That socialists getting power in Dem party and old guard bailing. Shutdown was net negative for Dems. All All right, let me go from bottom to top. Shutdown was negative, true. Old guard bailing, true. Socialists gaining power, true. But I don't know how they're gaining power. And here's the issue. If you look at the more impressive victories, Dems did not win the states they were expected to win. That's not true. They weren't expected to win New Jersey. They weren't expected to win that. They weren't expected to win Virginia. Later on, they were, but early on, they were not. These were toss-ups until the very end. So that part's not true. Even Cuomo said that. He's right. It's not true. He admits it. That's not true. Those were big deals. Also, the margins in some of these were also big deals we didn't expect. Also, some of the state houses that they won was not expected. So that's not true. So to be forward, that's not all true. But the biggest piece is many of the things they won were not from people who are more the Democratic socialists. What I mean by that, look at New Jersey and Virginia. The two Democrats who won those states, they're capitalist types. They're mainstream Democrat types. They're not Mamdani types. So in the places where Democrats won where they didn't expect to win, the people who won weren't the radicals or the socialists of Democratic Party. They were the mainstreamers. They were the normal, corporate Democrats. That's who won. That's the piece where the Democrats are in a civil war now. So now that if you remember initially, it's Mamdani. Oh my God, the Democrats have become socialists now because Mamdani. They did gain power. You're correct, Mike. They absolutely gained power. The victory, Mamdani's victory absolutely gained power. Socialists gained power in the Democratic Party. But the two upsets or question marks, those are mainstream corporate Democrats. Now they can go, see, Mamdani's the weirdo. He's not the norm. Us regular mainstreamers, we're the norm. They can do that now because they had those two wins. So maybe. So Romero Empire, thank you for becoming a member, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate the membership. Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. So I think that piece is what I think is happening there. So, all right, I'll grab some more of these if I can. But the adrenaline is over. I think the Democrats blew it badly. I mean, I think Jessica's correct. There was a oomph they had. It's not there. Now they're fighting themselves. Now they're fighting themselves, and they shouldn't have. So, all righty. I'm going to grab a couple more of these if I can as I walk down here. Lunatic says, I have been reading the federal code. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? People need to read the documents and stop listening to the pen. I think you mean the pundits. Yeah. God, it's punishment. Yeah, of course you do, though. Yeah. Mike says, Jon Stewart was blistering on Schumer and the shutdown. Many others, too. Schumer is getting slaughtered. I mean, can he recover? Maybe. He's got till 2028, right, Mike? I don't think he's not up next time. He's up in 2028. He's got 3 years. So people could forget about it. I mean, it's possible. It depends. Depends on how harsh AOC is running. So, yeah, it's possible. He could get around it. He could. It's possible. So, yeah. Arthur says, when you have a moment, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Starbucks union strike. I think Starbucks is not a great company, but I think these baristas are ridiculous. This originated in Buffalo. Here's the hardest part. All right. Let me dump these clips. Hold on. I think I'm done with this, guys. I've shared a lot. Here's the hardest part. And the reason why they're striking is because they're unhappy with the amount of money they're making and they're unhappy with the rules and such, right? I get it. The problem is Starbucks is getting beat up compared to the past. Now, some people would say, well, their CEO makes $1 bazillion. Yes, but he's always made $1 bazillion. So he's not going to all of a sudden not make $1 bazillion. You might say that's wrong, but that's reality. He's not going to go, oh, you know what? I'm not going to get paid now. Not going to happen. Not how it works. He's always made $1 bazillion, right? And he still makes it. So as he's making his $1 bazillion, he says, well, we want to fix things. Well, times are tough. They're closing stores down. So as they're closing stores down and things are getting bad, now the Starbucks people are going, well, now we want a union. To be forward, they probably should have unionized when things were good. I know it sounds weird, but that's when they probably should have, because at that point, Starbucks is more open to it for sure. And they have a better case in general in the public market because Starbucks is doing so well. Starbucks is not doing well right now. For those of you who are paying attention, they're closing stores. They're having a lot of issues, a lot of complaints. Customer service is down. They're having to rebrand. They're not doing well. So I'm not doing well. And here come my people saying, we want to unionize now. How do I feel as a senior leader? Here's how I feel. I'm not saying it's correct, Arthur. I'm telling you how they feel. I know. I've been in office in a public company twice. Here's how they feel. How dare these ingrates? Now they beat us up. They did beat us up when we were doing good. Now they hammer us. That's how they feel. I'm not saying it's right. If you're a worker, you'd be saying the opposite. Why didn't they do the right thing when they had a chance? When they were doing well, why didn't they do the right thing? So I get both sides of this, but I'm just telling you how that side's going to feel. So now they want to unionize, they're going to be like, no, I don't want to do anything. Or if they do, what are they going to do? Fire a bunch more people. Starbucks is purposefully, I'm sure, if they actually go union, is going to shut down just thousands of thousands, maybe for sure hundreds of stores, maybe thousands of stores. Shut down tons of stores. Shut down stores. Shut them down. And the other part that's going to suck is Starbucks will become more mechanical, because when you unionize, you become more mechanical, right? Which is why I always would prefer. I think the smart move for Starbucks, if they want to do this, is to not unionize. If I'm running Starbucks and they don't ask me anything, but what I would do is, because a lot of people who like this, there's a special type of person who's a Starbucks barista. I'm serious. They should create co-op franchises. You don't need to unionize then. Co-op franchises would change everything. That's the model they should take on. Starbucks should create co-op franchisees. What does that mean? So all the workers there, instead of becoming unionized, buy the place. Become franchisees. Done. Now you have ownership in it. This is what socialists want, right? Socialists want, workers that own the means of production. There you go. Done. Worker co-op finances. Franchises, sorry, not finances. Worker co-op franchises. That's the answer for Starbucks. But they won't do that. That's why they're going to have a union strike. They're going to fight back and forth. Starbucks might win. Because here's the problem. What are the baristas going to do when Starbucks says no? They might win. They might not. But right now, it is a market where people want jobs. It's going to be a whole lot easier to hire scabs. So, yeah. Again, not against unions at all. But unions are workers wanting to have control. I get it. I'm not mad at them for that. I'm not mad at unions, right? All I'm saying is you can do both. You can get that control and still be able to have an environment to where people care. The problem is once you start to unionize, you find that a lot of people start going, not my job, not my job, not my job. Nope, I'm not working anymore. I'm not working. You get a lot of that, which affects customer service, which affects all these things. You make it a worker co-op. That's a franchise. These people have ownership in this. They now care. It's how it works. So to answer your question, if they had asked me to advise them, they have not. If they'd asked me to advise them, that's what I would be advising them and push them into a worker co-op franchise model. You start it in a bunch of cities, easily work. You know cities you can do it in easily. But Larry, they might take a bath up front. They're going to take a bath with a strike. You're taking a bath with a strike. And then you're going to end up having an adversarial relationship with your workers. Why would you want that? That's going to show up in their customer service. You know it is. It's going to show up in customer service, which means you're going to have more problems. If Starbucks unionizes, it's the beginning of the end for Starbucks. Not because unions are by default bad, because the way they made it is bad. They could have fixed this problem another way, and they just didn't do it. So I hope that answers your question at least. So, all right, let me grab some more of these. Patty says a provision in legislation to reopen the government would outlaw certain hemp products legalized by the 2018 Farm Bill. A move the hemp industry argues will kill the $30 billion market. Oh my God, I didn't realize that. Oh, of course. Of course. All right, I'm gonna have to look up that, Patty. That's really bad. God, I hope you're wrong. You're probably not. I know, but I'm saying I'm gonna hope, because that's terrible. The last thing we need is to kill another industry. I mean, the economy is not going well. It just isn't. So Moscow had to say tonight, okay, Schumer wasn't trying to get a deal. Yeah, He was trying to force compliance, and they thought Obamacare was an easy win. They were wrong. Fetterman was leading the move to reopen and negotiate afterwards. I'm not sure that was. No. I don't think Fetterman was. No. I mean, Fetterman's in a terrible spot. He wasn't doing that. Fetterman might have been talking some trash to some reporters, but no. But I think you're right on Schumer. Yeah. So, Lunatic says, these people are not principled, don't flip on anything. Generally speaking, yes. Phil says, MTG was interesting asking for what the Republican plan for healthcare is. Who does she think the congressional Republicans are? Larry Sharpe? Then they would have a plan, Phil. You're right. They would have a plan. That's true, but they don't. So, of course not. Yes. All righty. I get that piece again. All right. Josh says, Chris Cuomo was mad because his brother got beat by a socialist. True. And it's obvious, right? Like it's obvious. Yes. Ma says, Obamacare has always gone up. Yes. Since the day it was passed. It never did anything promised. Dems had 10 years to fix Obamacare, never did. They want this fight. No, I don't think they want to fix it, Mike. I think they're okay with it, right? There is a, I guess, conspiracy theory, but it may not be that says that Democrats were happy with this because Obamacare is going to fail so badly that it's going to open it up to Medicare for all. Because what Obama did that was brilliant. I mean, I've heard it more than once. You know, you buy your stuff at the marketplace, right? And they go, see, it's the free market. You and I both know it's nowhere near the free market. It's a joke to even imagine the free market. But they've said that more than once. And I've had people tell me, Obamacare is the free market. That's why it doesn't work. That's what they tell me. Again, you and I know that's absolute garbage. But that, again, I was saying the other day, Democratic rhetoric is good. It is. You can be mad at it all day long. It's good. It is usually better than Republican rhetoric. Not always, but it's usually better. And that's good rhetoric. See, it's the marketplace, guy, right there. Free market. Free market doesn't work. See, I think it's brilliantly done. And I think the goal is for it to fail to push towards Medicare for all. So I don't think the Dems want to fix it. I don't think the Republicans want either. Republicans have had 10 years to come up with a plan. They haven't had a plan. The Republicans haven't had a plan I have a better plan than they have. I mean, everyone does. They don't have, none of them have plans. So yeah. So I guess the other question though is what is your plan about? How do you make those spending? How do you decide where to spend at all? And if you wanted to do it, is there a way you could show? There is a way. You know what you could do? You could click that link that is actually in the show description on Rumble, on Facebook, and on YouTube, where it says link to the advocates. You can pop over to the advocates and take a federal spending survey. Yes, click that link specifically, head over to the Advocates for Self-Government and walk on over to where it says single issue surveys. Click that button and take the federal spending survey. Specifically that one. Why? We're talking about how you're going to spend that money. How are you going to spend that money? Right? And you're going to tell people and show them what you think. Again, what do these test quiz do? They make you think. Here, should federal military spending increase or decrease? Military spending should not be increased if it cuts into necessary social spending. There we go. Military spending should increase to stay ahead of Russia and China while maintaining the ability to project power on the globe. Military spending should decrease to the level needed to defend Americans in America. We should stop projecting power on the globe. What do you think? You pick the one that you care and move to the next one. Should Social Security spending increase or decrease? Citizens should be allowed to decide for themselves how much or how little they want to invest in Social Security. These individual choices will determine if Social Security spending rises or falls. Social Security spending should only increase based upon the earned returns from private accounts. Benefits could actually increase if Americans could invest some of their Social Security taxes into private accounts. Social Security spending should increase to provide living income to those in poverty. Affluent people currently get too much and poor get too little. Which is closest to what you think? Click the one that you're closest to. And there's a series of these. Go through all of them, answer the questions, and at the end, share it. Share it. I keep saying to share it. I keep telling you to share it. Why? If you say, Larry, I don't want to do that. I've taken these quizzes before. Do you care about the show? Do you care about the show? If you do, if you like what I'm doing, take the quiz again and share it and let people see it. Because they'll be, what's this? And they'll come on over. And then they'll take one. Well, they'll take two and they'll start talking. Conversation is how we fix this country unless we're going to violence. And I don't want to go to violence. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. Let's have more conversations. Take it. The advocates for self-government take this test, then share it. Then share it. Let people see it. Click the link that I showed you there. Help out the show. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. All right, let me grab some more comments if I could. All righty. Mike says the shutdown will be forgotten by January when I help the Dems in 2026. Republicans in Senate have far better sound bites for re-election ads. All right. I don't think it'll be forgotten by January because guys like Fetterman are going to say they're going to redo it again. So not by January. Maybe by the summer, but not by January. And Democrats, Republicans are going to bring this back up anyway. You just said it. Republicans have better sound bites. I'm not sure that's true. You like counting your chickens early. I don't. Democrats will have some. It depends how it works. And also depends what they do in January. In general, I think the Democrats blew a serious chance. I mean, imagine if they would have had serious problems and then said, look, this is all Republicans' fault. It's all Trump's fault. And what if Trump would have caved? Trump was considering it. Would he have caved? I don't know. But he was clearly considering it, talking about getting rid of the filibuster, all that stuff. He was considering it. Would he have done it? I don't know. But he was definitely considering it. So, yeah. Master now says, knock, knock. Who's there? EpiPen. EpiPen who? Government shutdown. True. Now, this is the second piece that popped up. This part, the Republicans took a beating on. Overall, the shutdowns, Democrats have taken a beating. It's true. Amongst themselves, amongst others, they've taken a beating. But now that the government's getting back open again, everyone's talking now about the e-files. Yes. Talking about paying that, Trump is doing things Trump's doing. He's not doing well. Again, not for Republicans. Republicans in general are pretty happy with him. In general, they are. Independents are not. There's a fight within Maha now. You have these guys seeing that, right? Whether we like Ozempic now or not. That's a big push also. A lot of issues now happening there. I'm seeing a lot of people start to fight. Liberty Lady says, sounds like a good time to abolish political parties then. Yes. Yes. Raybo Jr. says, not that the right has any ideas to replace it either. Yes. The Republicans use Obamacare as the boogeyman. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a broken system. It is. It does not work. That's true. But you should add another plan. I agree. MTG says it. She's like, where's our plan? Aren't we like the Republican Party? We got to have some plans. No. So, yeah. Adirondack says, I don't understand the Civil War concept. How will I know who is on which side? I don't want to waste ammo. Yeah, the Civil Wars don't matter right now. It's just, chat. So, yes. Christopher says, would they have shut the government down if Congress had to go without pay? Yeah, most Congress people are millionaires. I think all the senators are. And most of the Congress people are. All the senators are. I think all the senators and most of the congressmen are all millionaires. They're doing fine. Most of them are deca millionaires. They don't have to get paid. I mean, their pay was what, $200,000 a year? They make tons of that on everything else they do. So yeah, it wouldn't affect them at all. They don't care. Unless we made it to where they couldn't make money any other way, maybe. But yeah. Josh says the Dems are not beating the Republicans in the midterms. I don't know. I think it's too early to tell. I think they blew a shot for sure. This was a big shot they screwed up. They screwed this up. They had a chance to do something and they did not. So I think they blew a shot, but I'm not sure it's true yet. So the beauty of core physics says 15K layoffs at Verizon. Everywhere. I see it everywhere. Yes. Everywhere. So, all righty. Let me grab some more of these here. Day Strayer says, what percentage of voters are paying attention now? What's the turnout percentage? Yeah, I think more. Again, guys like Mamdani gave a lot of Democrats hope and made a lot of Republicans afraid. it got people out. It was a decent turnout, big turnout compared to others. I mean, it's not a big turnout, but relative to others, it was a big turnout. And I think you'll have more and more. People are starting to pay attention, which is one good thing. They are starting to pay attention. I do like that. So, yes. All righty. Phil says, I expect a ton of primaries this next year. Maybe. I could see it. Lunatic says, I'm so sick of the blame game. The propaganda and rhetoric is tiring, and we have a mass of the population that believes it all. Not just that. I'm going to go one step further. They don't just believe it. They want to believe it. Lunatic, if they can believe it, it makes themselves feel better. It makes themselves feel like, yeah, well, it's because if we just get rid of these guys, then it'll all be good again. It makes it's an easy answer for people. So see, the problem is, Lunatic, if my guy was in charge, then everything will be awesome. It's just because your guy's in charge, and that's why it sucks. So let's just hate on you and your guys, and then when we get rid of you guys, then it'll be awesome, and there'll be butterflies and puppies, and we'll all get chocolate cake. It'll be nice. See? You like chocolate cake, Lunatic? I do too. So get rid of your guy, and when my guy's in charge, we all get chocolate cake. If you like chocolate cake, you have cupcakes, but they will be puppies. There's going to be puppies. Don't be a jerk, Lunatic. Puppies. All right. Anyway, so yes. Minor Threat says, Epstein, Kirk, H-1B, issues of war, all more cared about than a shutdown. Neither won't be moved by another month. You think the way Mike thinks. You agree with Mike. You think it's just, it'll be, I think it depends on if they go to shut it down again in January. But I guess we'll see. You're with Mike. All right. Maybe you guys are right. Maybe I'm off on this one. It's possible. It's possible. I just think that the chickens are being counted too fast. I think this could be turned. Right? Look, the one thing that Democrats still have is the socialist wing of the Democratic Party is still very excited still. They still have some of that oomph. They still have some of it. So we'll see. Maybe. That's all I'm saying. Maybe. So, all right. But I'm not the only one that thinks this could be all for nothing. There's another place you can go to get some real information about what's actually happening and why it's happening. And where's that? Oops. Hold on, guys. And that is, I think you know where it is, guys. I think you already know where it is. It is. And let me pop this up for you so you will see right now. If I can pop this piece up, and now all of a sudden I can't find. There it is, right there. And this was one piece brought up by Civil that is specifically about the shutdowns. Because not only do they have cool things, they actually not only have cool things, they also have things that are up to date.
Did Democrats blow it on the government shutdown? There's a deal to reopen the government in the works, and at least one Democratic senator says the whole resistance plan was a failure, never should have happened. What does Zoran Mamdani have to do with any of this? That's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to the Reason Roundtable. This is your libertarian review of news and culture from the editors of Reason Magazine and Sometimes Friends. I am Peter Suderman. I'm your host, and today I'm joined by Matt Welch and Catherine Mengue Ward. Nick Gillespie just couldn't make it. Nick.
There we go. This is stuff that you see that happens all the time. It pops up. This is literally from 3 days ago. It happened. They jumped on board. Now you have a real conversation back and forth about what they think is going to happen. You're going to get people saying it's good. Some is going it's bad. Talking about Mamdani, back and forth. This is the kind of stuff you get on Civil. CIVL.com. The code is Larry10 for 10% off. Every single time, every show, I show you something decent that's popping up here on Civil. I express either something that is relevant or sometimes topical. In this case, both relevant and topical here on Civil. Again, CIVL.com. The code is Larry10 for 10% off. Look, it's a good place to go to get real information, cool shows. Something's always on. It's always relevant, and I'm on it. Literally, you get all my stuff on it, and here's the coolest part. There are 6 episodes that are only on Civil. We Fix It Wednesdays. Only on Civil. But Larry, don't you have a YouTube page? I do, but it's not there. It's only on Civil. CIBL.com. Larry 10 for 10% off. Watching things that matter. Watching things without the conflict machine, and also watching things that are topical. All on Civil.com. Guys, thanks for that. I appreciate that. So yes. All righty. Let me grab a couple more of these if I can. Josh says, Dems bad, more cops. Orange man bad, tax the rich. It's all about hyping up their bases. We'll offer no solutions. Yes. I wish you were wrong. You are not wrong. You are literally correct. That's how they all work. It's embarrassing. Yes. All right. I want to grab some more of these. All right. Liberty Lady says, I moderate for a GOP podcaster. It's Dems bad, Dems bad, Dems bad. Larry Levelhead brings us back to the center. Yeah. Look, often Dems are bad, but they're not always bad. Often Republicans are bad, but they're not always bad. There's a difference. Ryan says, Republicans are supposed to have a plan. What? I know. No one told them that. They should have. Yes. John says, with a lot of help from most of the mainstream media on Election Day, people were blaming Republicans for the shutdown. Did that get Democrats to win a VA? Now we know for a fact it was them shutdown. Well, see, that's the issue. You hit it perfectly, John. This is why I'm not saying that Mike is wrong. I'm not. And I know that a minor thread agrees with it. I'm not saying they're wrong. What I'm saying is, I think we got to give the socialist wing, which still has a lot of oomph, and to be forward, some good rhetoric. I just told Lunatic there's gonna be like chocolate cake and puppies. So chocolate cake and puppies might beat shutdown. So rhetoric does have power. I don't know. Depends how much you like chocolate cake. I mean, there's going to be no chocolate cake, but depends if you believe there's going to be chocolate cake and puppies. I mean, there's no puppies, but they're going to tell you there's going to be puppies. Are you going to buy it? That's the question. So, yeah. All righty. Lil J, thank you for the $4.99, my friend. I appreciate the super chat. Thoughts on these layoffs? Predictions of employment within 5 years. I want to go to college for accounting advice. Are you asking my opinion on whether you should go to college for accounting? All right, I'll try to grab all of these. The layoffs are not coming back. The jobs are going away, and they're not coming back. There will be some other type of job or no job. To be very clear, they're not coming back. That's not a thing. And many of them aren't firing as much as they want. They're simply not hiring anymore. The majority, I think now, I don't know how many, but the majority of these jobs, that job listings you're finding out, are ghost jobs. They're jobs that allow them to collect your data, and then they're selling your data off. Yeah. So I applied to 500 jobs, didn't get a call back. You just gave 500 people your data, and they validated it, and now they're going to sell it someplace. That's what actually happened. So yeah, that's a waste of time. So employment within 5 years. Within 5 years, you were going to find massive unemployment. And I mean 50%, 20, 25, 30%, huge amounts. And sadly, a huge chunk of it will be women. Because men are shifting into the trades faster than women are. They're in the trades now more than women are, and shifting faster than women are. Women can go into trades too. I'm not saying they can't go into trades. They absolutely can. And generally speaking, women who keep their jobs will be in what they call the pink collar jobs. Sadly, most of those pink collar jobs are going to go away, except for those in healthcare. New York City is becoming a massive when it comes to healthcare. Healthcare hiring everywhere. Finance gone like there's no tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken, Goldman Sachs has more workers. I think Goldman Sachs has more workers in Texas than it does in New York now. So yeah, it's bad. It's a problem. So layoffs are going away. They're not coming back. Most of the jobs are going to be in jobs that AI cannot do. Right now, most of that's trades and healthcare. It will eventually affect healthcare too, right? Nursing is getting a terrible rap. People are really mad at nurses right now. Nurses are overworked and pressured, so they're going to try to find a way to make AI replace a bunch of nurses. I don't know how that will happen. My assumption is they'll use AI as assistants in some way, shape, or form. That's my assumption. Maybe even robots. I don't even know, but they'll find a way, because why would you pay nurses lots of money if you don't have to? They're going to find a way. So even that's going to wind up going away. But I think healthcare is going to be the best place for women that's going to happen. Teachers will be within 5 years. You'll see teachers starting to be replaced. Teachers too going away. You see that's happening too. So I think women will be hurt more than men, but both will be hurt. And the reason why women more than men is because there are more men in trades, and men are swapping to trades faster. If a man is 40 years old or 30 years old, he'll go into trades. Most women won't. Some will, but most women who go into trades go in early. It's rare for older women to go into the trades. Does happen. It's just rare. So I think you'll be affected more by females than males. Next, going to college for accounting, terrible idea. My advice, terrible idea. One thing AI does really well is accounting. Like really well. Terrible idea. I would not go to college for accounting or finance or any of that shit. Colossal waste of time. I would not do that. I would only go into some form of college for some form where you think you can have a license to where AI cannot do it well. As a general rule, unless you have a real good plan and you want to specialize in niche specifically, college is a colossal waste of time and energy right now. You will just go into lots of debt and you're going to work as a barista. That's how that shit works now. AI's trashing lawyers. AI's trashing doctors. AI's trashing teachers. AI's trashing accountants. AI's trashing finance. You see it everywhere. AI's trashing everything. So why would you want to put yourself into debt? $100,000 in debt for what? $50,000 in debt for what? So you can have more debt? If I were you, you asked my opinion, I'm going to give you my opinion. I would not go to college. If I was 18 years old today, I would not go to college. Colossal waste of time. I would not do it. It's a waste of time. Unless I could somehow get into an Ivy League school for free. If I was smart enough or had connections or something, if I was able to get into an Ivy League school for free, I would do it for the networking because it's free. I'm not going to go into debt. I can network well. I'll learn some stuff, but whatever I need to learn, I can learn with AI, ChatGPT, and internet anyway. If I'm hungry for the knowledge, I can get it anyway. I don't need college for that shit. And exception, if I get into places like academies, like if I can get into Annapolis, if I can get to West Point, if I get to those for free, yes. If I can get to a school that has great networking for free, I would do it. But otherwise, I wouldn't. Any college you do try to go to, they have to basically be a college where they have some form of incubator. So if you want to go to a tech school, do they have an incubator there at the school? Do they have an incubator? Do they do hackathons, things like that? If the school has an incubator, go to school. Oh, he said, I'm sorry. Goes, what I use my GI Bill. Okay, good. So it's free. Okay. So it's free. So that changed my mind. Remember I said, don't want a debt. It's free. So fine. GI Bill. Find a school that has incubators in it. That's critical. So if you go to a school you can become part of a business community while you're in school. Why? What employers want now is not a college degree. People tell you that's horseshit. That's not true. They want you to have done something. Look, I've taught, for those of you know, I've taught a couple classes at the graduate level of both Yale and Columbia. And what I would tell people all the time, students there, they say, well, Larry, I'm going to B school. Great. What are you doing? Well, I'm going to B school. Not enough. What are you doing? Well, I'm going to B school. Bullshit. You must be doing something. So find a school that has an incubator plan. Like you go there and you can do stuff on the weekends, do stuff during the summer, do stuff. You want to be able to say at the end of your 4-year degree that you have also either work with a business, achieve something, build something, whatever the case may be. If you can't say that, you're another chump out there with a degree. You just wasted 4 years of your life. I wouldn't waste my time. Last piece, I'll give you exceptions. Your GI Bill means your military. I would consider law enforcement. I know you might go, Larry, yes, I'm just being forward. The state will always need enforcers. As horrible as that sounds, I'm giving you honest advice. As horrible as that sounds, the state will always need enforcers. So law enforcement is not being picked up right now by AI at all. And you will maybe use AI for that. But no matter what, the state will always require enforcers. So if you're prepared to be a government enforcer, absolutely law enforcement. It's a great idea. You'll get a job in any city. That's good. Other thing I might consider, EMT, first responder, also a good idea. So I hope that was helpful at least. I know that was kind of negative. I apologize, but I want to give you honest feedback. You asked for it, I gave it to you. And one more piece I'll bring up. When you're in college, have good relationships with anyone you meet of stature in the field you want to go into. So if you want to go into law enforcement, every police chief you meet, have a relationship with them, meet them, talk to them outside. Every DA you meet, right? And if you're going to law enforcement, if you want to go into some other trade, all business owners, developers, people who are building things, engineers, entrepreneurs, make sure you know them, because you want to be able to say who you know. To get a job in today's world, your resume is maybe the third or fourth thing that matters. Maybe people think resumes matter. They do, but they're minor. Two things that matter. Who do you know? What have you done? If anyone doesn't tell you that, they're full of shit. Who you know, what have you done? Those things matter more than your resume. Resume matters, but nowhere near compared to those two things. If I walk into a room and say, I did this, and they believe me, again, and they believe me, and I know these guys, and they believe me, you have the best resume in the world, I'm getting that job, not you. Guaranteed. And every time. Not sometimes, not 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10. 10 times out of 10. The people who never get jobs are the people who just keep putting resumes out. I applied for 300 jobs. That's when you got a goddamn job. So you don't have a job. Who do you know? Nobody. What have you done? Nothing. That's why you don't have a job. I don't mean to be mean. I know that sounds cruel. I know it does. It's reality, particularly with AI. And the last piece of I haven't done as much business consulting recently because I've been doing this. I've been running. But this is what I do for a living. This is how I make my money, is doing this kind of stuff. The thing to remember also is, whatever you decide to do, whatever that thing is, you have to be able to have passion for it, to where you can talk about it like it's your hobby. You'll be able to talk about it like it's your hobby. So if you do want to go into accounting, I wouldn't do it. But if you do want accounting, you should be able to talk about accounting, not like it's your job, like it's your hobby, like you're talking about baseball or cards, whatever. It should be like that. So keep that in mind. And I'll add one more piece if I can. Whatever job you're going to be part of, you will have to use AI. It's the way of the world. It's the future. So learn AI. Do not be afraid of AI. If any teacher tells you you cannot use AI for this class, that teacher's a fucking idiot. Ignore them. Use AI anyway. It's stupid. Use AI anyway. This class is not for AI. Use it anyway. It does not matter. Teacher's an idiot. There's still people I know all the time saying, we got to ban AI. We're not banning AI. It's not going to happen. It's everywhere. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It doesn't matter what people say. It's irrelevant. If teacher says that, they're an idiot. Ignore them. Use AI for everything. Everything. Know it. Trust it. Feel good about it. Know how to use it. Don't be afraid of it, because that's how, there's a saying, and it's a true saying. You're not going to be replaced by AI. You're going to be replaced by people who know AI, who embrace it. So embrace AI in whatever you do. They'll be using AI in law enforcement. They'll be using AI in first responders. They'll be using AI in writing, using AI in marketing, using AI in everything. So be open to it, learn it, get it, use it. Do not be afraid of it. All right. I think I'm off my soapbox. Hope that was worth your cool super chats. So give you a lot. I appreciate it. All right. Let me walk down some of this if I can. All righty. Where was I? We'll grab a bunch of these here if I can. Oh, I went down. You guys zipped a bunch by me. I think I went by a bunch. All right. Let me see if I can get some of these if I can. Okay. I think I went through a bunch of these. Too far. I'm gonna be way behind again. You guys be mad at me. Larry, you're far behind. I do fall behind. It's true. I do fall behind sometimes. All righty. Let me see if I can grab a couple of these. John says, interesting, was going to pop this up on Facebook and share it and have a message, confirm you're human to use this account. I see that often. Adarak says, ACA is not healthcare. True. It is a way to buy healthcare insurance. Correct. You are right. You are absolutely correct. And people, that's what I love this. People go, the government's taking away my healthcare. Is it though? Sounds good. That goes back to rhetoric. Good rhetoric. See? How good that rhetoric? You evil Republicans are taking away healthcare or denying healthcare. You evil Republicans. That's good rhetoric because that sounds like you're just evil. Yes, absolutely. Gene says Congress should not get back pay. They're the ones that close government. True. Yes. Keith says a month-long vacation for federal government employees. So much for Trump's firing them and slimming the government. No leave used. There may be some. There may be some who don't come back, but I think most of them are coming back. But I think there may be some. So, yeah. Gene says, I can't trust the government that's $38 trillion in debt and hasn't followed the Constitution for 75 years. Literally no lies there whatsoever. That is on the money. That is on the money. Yes. All righty. Minor Threat says, I can't stand Starbucks coffee or other company. I don't mind Starbucks. What I used to think was funny is, I remember, this is a true story back in the day, about 20 years ago when I started my business, I was supposed to, we had a bunch of money. This is a funny story. You may enjoy it. You may hate it. I hated it at the time. When I was having my first baby, there was supposed to be a bunch of money around. But their mom decided to not work anymore and didn't tell me. And all of a sudden, the money we saved up had to go to the baby. So I didn't have an office space at my business all of a sudden. And it was like out of nowhere. So I basically had to start networking all over the place. This is how I learned my entire networking plan, is by doing it and by failing and succeeding. Is how I built my entire networking plan that I actually teach at colleges and such. That's where I got it from that. And I used to work in Starbucks all the time. And so what I would do is there's only one advantage of having no clients. You got plenty of time for networking. Everything else sucks. But that is one advantage of having no clients when you first start a business. There's the one advantage. You have plenty of time for networking. So I would literally buy 1 cup of coffee in the morning and schedule my meetings every hour at the Starbucks. And they would just show up at Starbucks. And I'd nurse 1 cup of coffee half the day or the whole day and just meet people all day until I was finally getting some business. So I used Starbucks as my office back then because that's what it was back then. It's a place for you to sit and hang out. Now it's like people go in, buy the coffee and leave. I'm like, why would you spend that kind of money for coffee and leave? And now it used to be coffee. Now it's all like some kind of sugary drink. So you're not like, it's like that much coffee and the rest is like, I don't know, whipped cream and sugar and stuff and whatever. So yeah, it's very different now. Very different now. But yeah, that's how I started my business, sitting in Starbucks every day, having a bunch of meetings that I couldn't afford office space until eventually I could eventually afford office space. But that took literally years. I didn't have an office. So my office was Starbucks. So yes. Anyway, all righty. Let's see if I go down here. All right. Stop Matt. It says baristas actually owning and running a Starbucks. Those locations will run to the ground. If so, it's their fault. If so, but I'm not sure that's true. That's an assumption you're making. If they have ownership, it might not. If they have ownership, it might not. But let's say you're right and they run to the ground. Well, then they think differently about owning a Starbucks, don't they? If it's true, but I'm not sure it's true. I'm not sure. Christopher says, Aldi is successful with employees having partial ownership. It could work for Starbucks, but that's a major company overhaul. That's the point. You're correct. That's the issue. It is a company mindset cultural issue. I bring up co-ops all the time. And the reason why they don't do it is the mindset of Americans are against it. You are correct. It can be done. It absolutely can be done. The question is, will it be done? And I think odds are no, but that is their answer. So yes. David says, unions are a great way to deteriorate worker merit while raising morale. Unions are a great way to deteriorate worker merit while raising morale. I'm not sure I get that. As a general rule, unionized workers aren't any more or don't have a higher or lower morale. Initially, they do, right? The initial high of it, they do. But afterwards, I know tons of union workers who hate their job. Tons of union workers who can't stand it. I've taught literally unionized shops all the time, right? I've taught, not as much now, obviously, because I do this so much. But I used to teach a lot of city agencies. They're all unionized. And they can't stand it. They hate it. I can't do anything. I would teach leadership ways of getting around unions. Yes, because you have to get something done. Unions don't care if the job gets done. It's irrelevant to them. They don't care if the job gets done. They don't care. And that's okay. That unions are fine. They don't care if the job gets done at all. The job getting done is nowhere near on the list of value for a union. They don't care about that. They care, are the workers treated great? Are the workers getting whatever they get? And are they getting their cut? Obviously, right. That they care about that. But they don't care if the job gets done. It's irrelevant. Particularly if it's government, because government's always going to have money. So if the job never gets done, totally fine. Unions don't care. And I get it, which is why I'd rather have worker co-ops, because worker co-ops means they care if the job gets done because they now have ownership. So I don't think that unions in general raise morale. Maybe initially when they first unionized, but after that, I know tons of union workers who can't stand unions, can't stand themselves being in a union. Yeah. So anyway, let's see if I go down here, grab some more of these. Oh, Mastermind got jokes. Whenever I tell a joke about free healthcare, Americans just don't get it. Nice. Nicely done. I do like that. So, all righty. I want to try to grab some of these. Stop Madness says, Stop the Madness. The HSA plan could be an interesting answer to Obamacare. Of course it could be. But you have to, again, that also, by the way, is a cultural shift. Patty says, MTG is slowly gaining me as a supporter. Surprise, surprise. That's not uncommon. There's a lot of people thinking differently about MTG. And I think in MTG's mind, at least, I don't know if, I don't know. I've never met her, so I don't know her personally. It's just from what I see. I think she actually is what she honestly believes is America first. And I think she's disenchanted with Trump because I think she honestly believed that Trump was America first. And Trump kind of is, but as I say all the time, Trump's a deal maker. And this gets people like MTG and others mad. It gets Democrats mad, Republicans mad, right? And I would bet, if Mike's still watching, when Mike gets mad at Trump, it's because Trump isn't a real conservative, isn't a real Republican, because Trump's making a deal. Because Trump will make a deal that will not be America first. He'll make a deal that won't be Republican, that won't be conservative, because he wants to make deals. He is a deal maker. I keep saying that to people, and they don't want to get it. At his core, Trump is a New York City real estate developer. That's what he is. He's about making deals. That's what he's about. That's where his head goes always. So he's going to try to be America first, try to be MAGA, of course, but sometimes he will, sometimes he won't. So MTG's like, wait a minute. This ain't America first. Yeah. You're not wrong. So I think, yeah. Adirondack says, I like the MTG because they were working so hard to discredit her. I figured she must be onto something. Nice. I like the way you think that. Yes. Rona says, Obamacare is a free market. Yes. Buy my products so we can eliminate competition or pay a fine. Seems legit. This, Bronner, is the glory of the rhetoric I speak about so often. So often. Democratic talking points, Democratic rhetoric is usually better than Republican. It usually is. Not always. I mean, there's times when Republicans come up with some good stuff. But generally speaking, it's better. And this is a brilliant one. I've heard this so many times. If you don't like Obamacare, it means you don't like the free market. They got the marketplace right there. It's the free market. I've heard that a dozen times, 24 times more. I can't remember how often I've heard that. Obviously, it's utter garbage and not true. But they've said it so often and so well. Naming it the marketplace. Just nicely done. Just nicely done. Yeah. So, all righty. Let's see. I'm heading over to Rumble now. All right. Space Jason says the federal government should have no say in producing health insurance plans. What the F happened to free markets? True. You're right. The federal government should just support, businesses and stop and punish fraud. Yes, agreed. Yep. So Pepperoni says, should Americans fund AI be able to profit from the earnings? I think yes, if you take the profit and you put it into a fund, which is what I talk about all the time when it's about New York State and having a New York State social trust. If you're going to fund it, put it into the trust so the trust pays for things for Americans. Makes total sense. That's how Singapore does it. That's how Norway does it. Yes, to answer your question. Yes, we absolutely should. That's how you do it, though, through a trust that pays. Yes. Christopher says, about universal health care, I wouldn't mind paying an extra tax percentage for that, but Obamacare was doomed to fail from the start. I would rather, if my only choice is garbage Obamacare or universal or Medicare for all, whatever, yeah, I'd rather have Medicare for all if that's the case, as long as I have an opt-out and I can go buy private insurance. I guess, yeah, if those are my only choices, it's like, what disease do you want? Okay, I guess I'd rather have that disease. So yeah, if I had to pick that, yeah, the problem is once you start it, it becomes another massive boondoggle of you don't pay an extra tax. You keep paying more taxes. How do I know that? Because every single program ever has that happen. So yeah, you'll pay an extra whatever, 5% this year, and then 10 years from now it's 7%, and then 12%, and before you know it, you're paying $1 bazillion. You can't pay your rent because you're paying for Medicare for all. They tried it in Vermont, that didn't work. They can't pass it in New York. It's been there for New York forever. Won't go to New York, won't pass it because it will destroy the money will just destroy our entire state completely. So yeah, but I get it. All right. Let's see here. Michael says, personally, I like iSide with better because you can have your own input. Yes, iSide is pretty good. I like iSide. Yes, I agree with you on that, Mike. It is good. So, Dave Strayer says, when the tariff checks coming out, March, this will be forgotten. I don't know if there will be tariff checks. I love the idea of it, right? It's you just giving the money out. I love it. Trump's a socialist now. Ooh, I know. I had to give Mike a little bit of because I know he hates that. Yes, absolutely. So, Lunatic says, Affordable Care Act written by think tank way before Obama. Yes, it's Romney Care. It's Romney Care. It's a Republican plan. Obamacare's Republican plan. I'm sorry. Obamacare's a broken, worse Republican plan. Yes, true. Absolutely. Ken goes on to say, it's the Unaffordable Care Act is only broken if you believe it's actually about helping. It's working exactly how it was designed. And that's my point I brought up earlier. I think it's made to move to that point of where we have to go to, Medicare for all. That's what I think. So, yeah. Robert says, the Democrats are on the upswing. True. Between Mamdani winning, the narrative surrounding the shutdown leaning in their favor, and Trump's 50-year mortgages, they acquiesce to defeat. This is my point. I'm with you 100%, Robert. No lies detected. I agree. I think it was a terrible idea for Democrats. But again, I think that when it comes to establishment Democrats, they want the same thing as establishment Republicans. Same thing. So NPG's mad because she's not establishment. Well, not now. She might become, but at the moment she isn't. Right? The establishment wants what the establishment wants. Left or right is just to make you think something's changing. I think that's the issue. So yeah. All righty. See if I get this right. Tanakaba says Democrats are working hard to make misinformation silos real with the shutdown narratives. Yes, and it does work, right? We're creating that. Yes, absolutely. So Mike says 51% of Congress are millionaires or more. I double-checked and current data is obscure. Trend has been more millionaires in the hundreds of millions from Korean politicians. Yes, exactly. They're not worried about their salary, brother. You're totally correct. They're not worried about that. I would bet it's more than 51% of Congress are millionaires. But I think because the data is obscured, I bet there's more. That'd be my gut. Yes. So let's see here. I'm going to grab some more of these. Patty says, Larry, check out this story. Leticia Jacobo, a 24-year-old member of Arizona's Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community, was born in Phoenix, but P-ICE from trying to ship her. Oh, is that right? Yeah. This idea of ICE not working with local police forces is messing things up. I've been saying it again and again. It's a problem. So yes. Massman says chocolate cake and puppies are that person who was EpiPen's friend Tuesday afternoon. True. You're not wrong. She is now out there doing all these things. She is. That's true. She's getting a lot of special treatment. I wonder why. Mastermind Hour. Why is that happening? Yeah. And she does get, it's true, chocolate cake and puppies. So, yes. Christopher says, AI is trashing the music industry as well. It is. It is. Yes. Absolutely. Minor Threat says, agree, Larry. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Adirondack says, don't go into coding. All the coal miners took those jobs. That's good. Stop the Man says, you can use GI Bill for trade school. HVAC tech. Yep. Absolutely. Yes. Minor Threat says, only if need for a professional license that requires it and your field not likely to get hammered by AI. Yes. Christopher says, college is great for kids who don't know the next step after high school. It's transition period, but I agree with some. No, I disagree completely. It is not that anymore. Back in the day, Chris, that was true. Now it is not. College, if you are a kid and you go to college, you don't know what you're doing, you are going into debt for nothing. Not just that. You are building bad habits of being told what to do, habits of you're being indoctrinated in stuff that means nothing. You are learning things that have zero value. You're not learning real skills. You're not learning work ethic. If you don't know what you want to do after high school, go get a job. Work on a farm. I'm not joking. Intern someplace. Go do something. What this younger generation is missing is the get up and go to go do something. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter. Go travel. Go do something. Going to college, if you don't know, this next step shit is absolutely not true. Look, I know I'm a hire a firer. People don't look at that and go, huh? You just found yourself in college. That's great. I'm gonna hire you. That shit does not happen anymore. That's not a thing. I have daughters. If I was 18 now, I am not pushing my kids into college. I'm not pushing them. If they go, they go. All good. They go, they go. But I'm not pushing them at all. Not what I'm doing. So, all righty. HVAC tech, after installation, AI will troubleshoot and tell you what part to replace. Yes, that was my point. Thank you. That was my point of having AI with you, right? Having AI with you, wanting to use AI with you. Yes. Brian says, yuck, law enforcement, part of the problem. You guys be mad at me all you want. I gave real advice. He can do as he sees fit. I did not allow my personal biases as any good consultant would. You see me when I talk about Democrats, Republicans. I don't support them, but I give them honest, true advice. Any good consultant cannot allow their personal feelings to get in between this. So I didn't say that he should. I said the state will always require enforcers. If you want a job, law enforcement, good idea. That's what I said, and I stand by that, Bronner. Be mad at me all you want. Still true. I give real advice regardless of my own personal feelings. Oh, that's why I'm a good consultant. That's why I could raise a family on just my salary in New York City, because I'm good at what I do. The market has told me that I'm correct. So, yes. All righty. Let me grab some more of this if I can. Michael says, I don't know about that. AI might be taking over the law enforcement field too. No, they'll be supported. It'll be supported. Yes. Stop the Man says, if you work directly with people, it's a good chance you'll be safe from AI a little bit longer. Yes. Yes. The more you work with people, the better. Agreed. Lunatic says, I'm a master diesel tech, welder, HVAC tech, electrician. I know how to program welding robots or ECUs for heavy equipment for trucks. Diesel engines run the world, maritime trade. True. Yes, absolutely. Adirondack says, network is important. Yes. Minor threat, who you know indeed. Yes, it is. Keith says, I could have used advice 40 years ago. I learned that the hard way. I've been teaching college kids this for years. For years. Yes. Stop the Man that says, the Uncle Larry segment show. If you ask, I will give you. I will, yes. I will absolutely do it. Yes. So Minor Threat says, if I were young, I'd do some serious research on emerging fields. Yes. That's smart. That is smart. 100%. Lunatic goes on to, smart move. Yes. I'm a mobile tech and I've worked in the most extreme environments. Heats up to 130 degrees Fahrenheit down to minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, if you can, if you're able to do that, that's also helpful. Being someone who is prepared to be uncomfortable. Lunatic is absolutely correct. A lot of people do not want to be uncomfortable. They don't want to work in these types of environments. If you're prepared to do that, you have a higher chance of getting a job, higher chance of doing it. I agree completely. If you can, that's great. So yeah. Okay. And then, yes, the Anne-Marie AI boss, AI says, hashtag prompt life. True. Yes. Absolutely true. Yes. Jacob says, to answer your question, no one won the shutdown. We all lost. Aw. That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound good. Yes. Adarang says, I didn't like being in the union. Yeah, I don't think it's automatic. Some people like unions, some people don't. Yeah, I think some people do, some people don't. I don't think by default being in a union raises morale. I don't think that's true. I've never seen any data that supports that. I think some unions are good, some are crappy. Some jobs are bad, some are good. I don't think being in a union makes it better or worse. Yeah. So, wow, I was a steward in this and a waste of time. Wow. I couldn't stand. Wow. Okay, wow, people didn't like it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Mike says, of course I'm watching. Trump has never been a Republican, but he is focused on long-term benefit to the U.S. Few look at his actions that way, but he does frustrate me from time to time. Yeah, and I could see it. I could see it because he is. I'm making a deal here. Yeah, I could see it. And you're not alone, Mike. You're not alone. Yes, you're not alone at all. So, all right. Michael says the other piece: if you like your doctor and keep your doctor, remember that. Yes, I remember that. Obama told us that. Wait a minute. Are you saying Obama lied to us? No, my view of Obama is destroyed. I never knew. I'm kidding. Obviously, he lied to us the whole time. Yeah. You know what? I got to thank Obama for something. Got to thank him for something. I do. I'm going to thank Obama right now. Obama, thank you for making me libertarian. Because he did. I was so disappointed in him, his first term. So disappointed that I was ready to just end everything and just not worry about politics at all. Like, politics is useless. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Politics sucks. I'm not even going to vote anymore. I'm not joking. I was at that point because of him. And that's why I was open to hear Gary Johnson in 2012. And that's how I became a libertarian. Gary Johnson in 2012, 13 years ago. So thank you, Obama. There we go. See? I brought something good out of Obama. See? There was something good about it. He made me libertarian. So there we go. There we go. All righty. Rhetoric is there. He says, good evening, everybody. I'm on my way home from jiu-jitsu, and I'm ready to grapple with everyone who doesn't like and share this video. I'm not very good at it, but I am very sweaty. So don't let his sweat get on you. That's not cool. Instead, click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Do what he says, or you're going to get Rhetoric's sweat all over you. If you haven't already, please share and repost this someplace. Put it in the Facebook group, whatever the case may be. And of course, subscribe to the channel. It really does matter. Subscribe to the channel if you can. For those of you who want to become a member, please go ahead. $6.99 per month. Click that join button. The more we do, the better we go. The better we do. The more we get, the better we do. There we go. That's what I meant to say. That's what I was saying. So stop fighting me. It's true. It happens. Yes, absolutely. So yes, 100%. All right. Grab a couple more of these. All right. Robert says, what will get youth into a home is a massive government jobs program. I would much prefer that to a 50-year mortgage. Well, yeah, if I have to choose, but the problem is the massive jobs program is the military-industrial complex. So to do that, you have to keep building out the empire, right? So to do that, you have to keep the empire going. That's the problem, right? That's my issue. So, all righty. Ryan says, I was a union representative and it sucked. Yes. Christopher says, I can only imagine playing Monopoly with Trump. I think he might flip it over. He might. It's possible. Yes. Maybe. Yes. Brian says, I agree. You gave the appropriate advice for that situation. I just oppose the idea of supporting the thugs of the state. Lull. But yes, that is an option. There we go. I passed no judgment, Brana. I gave him the appropriate. Yes. That's all it is. There we go. All righty. Rhetoric says, Obama walked so Larry could run for governor 2026. Nicely done. That is amazing. Nicely done. Guys, I do want to ask if I could, if you haven't already clicked the like button, please do so, as I always ask. But more importantly, you know the rules. After this live, please comment after the live. Here's what I want you to comment after the live. Is there a winner for the shutdown? Did somebody or some group win overall for the shutdown? Was there a victor or was nobody a victor? Let me know what you think. Please let me know after the live if you would, after it's done. If you watch this when it's not live, remember, 2 videos will pop up. Please watch one of them right away. The rhythm loves that. Algo rhythm loves it. AMA tomorrow. AMA tomorrow, 7 p.m. I will see you all